Hey, Nina here! When doing applique with the embroidery machine, the steps can be quite confusing sometimes. So in this video I'll be going through a step-by-step on how to do applique when using one of my patterns. I'll be using my Sugar Skull Kitty pattern and walk you through each step with some extra tips. My machine is stitching out the basting stitch right now. It's something that I like to do for myself, but it's not a necessity for this embroidery. The first step is called the applique material. This will stitch an outline so you can see where to position your material later on. The water-soluble stabilizer is not needed on this step. We will add it later on step 3. The stitches of the two first steps are not going to be visible in the final design, so you don't need to worry about which color to choose. The lines are there only to help you see and to hold your fabric down, so any color will be fine. Now you can see the kitty face, and this will give you an idea of how big of a piece of fabric you need for your applique. So take a big enough piece of fabric, make sure to get the good side or the fluffy side if you're using Minky upwards, and let the machine stitch out the second step called applique position in order to hold down the fabric for you. Now we are finished and we are going back to the table in order to cut everything off. Now we will cut out our kitty in order to get the skull shape. I like to use curved scissors for this as I can get really close to the line with them. I will start with the outline first, not worrying about being too neat right now. I just want to get all the excess fabric off. The closer you can get to the stitches, the better, so don't be afraid to get really close to the stitched outline. Now I'll go in and trim out some extra pieces of fabric to make it as neat as possible. To make the edges even cleaner, I use the tiny scissors, especially around the corners, as they are tiny enough to get in there. For the next step, we need to cut out the inside of the eyes and the nose. For that, I like to use my embroidery scissors, as they have a very sharp tip. You can cut in, but be careful not to cut through both layers of fabric, but only through the white one. Once I have a little hole, I like to go back with my curved scissors and go right around the way of the outline on the inner part, making sure to get every single edge, especially the corners. Now I'm going to repeat the same on the other eye and the nose. The nose can be a little bit tricky, so having scissors with a very sharp point helps a lot. There we go. The last step is the decorative satin stitch, so we need to use the water-soluble top stabilizer. And now we're going to put it back into the embroidery machine to stitch the outline. This is how the applique outline looks. Now I will let the machine stitch out the rest of the details in order to get our finished kitty face. And this is the finished design. The last step is to get the outline stitched while sandwiching the fabric, but more about that in the next video. I hope this cleared out some steps for you. Let me know if you have any questions or if there are any parts you're stuck on. I would love to do more of these types of tutorials for you. Thank you very much for watching, happy stitching, and see you next time!